Hi guys! Happy New Year! Welcome to my January 2020 plan with me. So, for this year, I decided that I wanted to try something new. As you guys can remember from my previous videos in 2019, I did a lot of collage videos where I used a lot of photos that I found online to decorate my bullet journal. So for this year, I'm trying something new, which is basically me doing more of a doodle kind of setup instead, since I have a lot of time before my university starts. So for this month, I decided to go with a primary color aesthetic. For this bullet journal, I'll be using a felt brush, my Muji pen, and 3 highlighters of red, blue, and yellow color. As you can see, I first did my calendar for January, and then I used the primary colors to decorate the headers of my calendar. Then, as you can see, I then went to doodle out the sketches that I drew beforehand. Next, I went to doodle out the sketches that I drew the day before. As this theme is pretty vague, I was unsure on what to draw and doodle to decorate the bullet journal, so I decided to draw some items and color them in the primary colors. And I did like it in the end, a lot. I decided to use some common items or things that reminded me the most of the primary colors, such as shoes, bags, flowers, etc., as you'll see soon in my bullet journal. All my doodles were referenced from online Google images. So yeah, to me, shoes such as Converses, Can, etc. resonated with me a lot for the primary colors, hence that's why I've been doodling all this. So if you guys do this theme for your bullet journal, I recommend doing something that you resonate with the most, because somehow when I drew all these pictures out, I felt a very nice satisfaction for it. It didn't need to be perfect. As you can see, I'm trying, even though I sketched beforehand, I felt like I ended up not really lining over exactly of how I wanted it to, but in the end, I enjoyed what I did in the end. I was heavily inspired by Amanda Richley for this month's bullet journal theme, as I remember once she did a stationery theme bullet journal and she doodled a lot of stationery and used the primary colors to color it in. So hence, I felt inspired to do something similar, as the colors did turn out really pretty in her bullet journal, and I wanted to try it too since I have the colors. Next, I wrote a quote that says, "The best is yet to be." I went to highlight a few words using a blue highlighter first before writing the calligraphy of the word over it to emphasize such words. This is to serve as a reminder for me that if anything happens this month, it's just the start of a new year and there's so many things to look forward to, and it's not the end of the world, definitely. And things in 2019 that I brought forward may not always stay behind. So yeah, there's so many things to look forward to and so many things to appreciate. So not to give up hope yet. After doodling some stuff, I went to do drop shadows for my title. I went in the color of the rainbow by doing red first, then yellow, blue, and then continued the cycle. Next, I went to color in the colors into my doodles that I drew. So I felt like yellow sneakers were always something that I really want to get, but I never really got them, so I felt that that would suit the entire theme of the bullet journal since it also matches the color aesthetic. Then I went to color the back blue and then went to color the logo red since it's the icon of Can bags. Sorry if my pronunciation is not right because I don't know, I have a hard time pronouncing it. Then I went to color in more of the doodles that I drew. Next, I went to do the same drop shadow for my goals and events page by doing the color order. I actually really like how it came out in the end. It's really colorful and I really like looking at it. I also plan to use the primary colors to color in every time I fill in the goals and events too. Next, I went to doodle in more of the pictures that I drew beforehand, such as this sunflower and the hot air balloon that you see below. I find that sunflowers are actually something that I really like to draw, as you can remember from my previous bullet journal in 2019. And I decided to add some little bees flying around it to give it more detail, which I kind of like in the end, as I do like my bullet journals to look a bit more detailed than it actually is, while keeping the theme simple. I also decided to draw some hot air balloons and some balloons flying in the sky, as I don't know, I guess I wanted something to remind me of the primary colors, and this is what came in mind. So afterwards, I repeated the coloring process as I did for my other doodles on the front page. I also went to draw in a bit more red balloons here and there, as you'll see me color in red later. Next, I'll be doing my mood tracker and my brainstorm page. Ever since I started doing the mood tracker last year, I really liked doing it, and I felt that it should be brought on to this year for my bullet journal, and yeah, hence that's why I'm doing so. Next, I wrote a quote that says, "I'm in charge of how I feel, and today I choose happiness." I went to repeat the same quoting process as I did on the first page, but highlighting the words that I want to emphasize, which I use is in charge, today, and happiness. I felt that since last year I had my exams, I was always really tired and really upset. And I felt like this year, since I'm not going to have any exams for now, I feel like I should choose to be happy this year. And I'll try my best to be happy as much as I can. So this tracker really helps me, and it kind of motivates me whenever I look at it by writing this quote there. As I was speaking, I was also drawing in the key to represent each mood for the mood tracker. So how this mood tracker works is every day I'll fill in the space above a mood by drawing in the doodle that represents the mood. I felt this is a simple way for me to track my mood while having fun doodling it in. Of course, next I went to color in the things that represent the mood. If you guys do this setup, I recommend you guys do something that represents your mood more. For me, these items represented my mood a lot. And then of course, next I went to do the drop shadow again for the titles. I felt there's a lot of space next to the title, so I went to draw in some emojis to represent the moods too, but I won't be using them for the key definitely. These are purely just for doodling purposes. Next, I went to do the same drop shadow for my brainstorm page. If you guys watched my previous videos, I usually put something on this page such as a habit tracker, etc. But I felt like this month I decided to put a brainstorm page in case anything comes up for the year ahead, and I wanted to brainstorm here. So yeah, I also decided to doodle some books in because I guess maybe brainstorming can come from different ideas. So yeah, basically this setup is similar to a brain dump page, but instead I just use it to just write any ideas in for maybe future bullet journal plans, etc. I decided to decorate my brainstorm page with another quote, which says, "Do it now, sometimes later becomes never." I usually write quotes to remind me that in this setup that I write, I need to do something. So for this brainstorm page is for me to make sure that I write down what I'm thinking about before I forget about it, because I have the tendency to think about it, but never have a space to write it or get output for it. And then when I end up thinking about it, I end up forgetting it. I also went to keep doodling a bit more art just to fill up the pages. Lastly, I'll be doing my weekly tracker. As you can see, I went to divide my weekly tracker into 5 sections, 1 vertical column and 4 horizontal columns on each page. The 4 horizontal columns is to use for tracking my daily stuff, and the weekly columns to track my weekly stuff. Firstly, I went to draw the calendar for my weekly tracker. I did a similar format to my monthly overview by writing the title and then using colors to color in the days of the week. I then used a highlighter to highlight the week that I'm in this weekly tracker. Next, below it, I went to write my to-do list and then afterwards color in little circles to represent the days of the week. I alternate the colors between the primary colors just to give my weekly tracker more color. Next, I went to do the drop shadows for the titles of my weekly tracker. Next, I used the same felt marker to write in the dates of the weeks in the circles that I drew. Next, I went to write the next week title in one of the horizontal boxes I drew and went to do the same drop shadow format. Lastly, I went to put my weekly habit tracker in my weekly setup. I used the primary colors to alternate the titles of the habits. Then I went to write the titles of the habits. I plan to use the colors of the titles to draw in bubbles every time I fill in the habit tracker. And then, as usual, I went to do the shadow drop again for the titles. Next, I went to write the month next to the dates as my January tracker will extend into February. Then I used a felt marker to write in the days of the week. But this time, I won't be doing a drop shadow as I didn't want the days of the week to stand out to the individual categories in the weekly tracker. So yeah, this is how I did my weekly tracker. I decided to alternate the colors for each week so it doesn't look the same. And then I went to doodle some pictures at the side and gave some quotes just to decorate my bullet journal a bit more. This was inspired by someone who did a fairy lights theme and decorated the fairy lights using the primary colors, and I felt it matches the primary color aesthetic that I was going for this bullet journal. And then afterwards I went to write a quote or a song lyric that says, "Look at the stars, look how they shine for you," just to give myself some kind of feeling that this matches the picture that I drew, but it doesn't really, so since it's lights, haha, I'm so funny, right? Next, I went to draw a can bag and some stationery. I felt like this doodle was my favorite one of all, as I actually really want to get a bag like this, but it's really expensive and I may actually end up getting a fake instead because I guess I can't afford it, even though it's kind of a worthy buy. I don't know, maybe one day if I can save up enough money, I may choose to expand on it instead. I also went to draw a little pin on the bag as, I don't know, I like how people decorate their can bags. I really want to do it because it looks super cool and super nice, and yeah, I really want to have a bag like that, but maybe this year I'll try to get a bag like that. Maybe. Hopefully I can save up. We never know. Next, I went to draw some more hot air balloons. I don't know, I guess hot air balloons are really pretty. I never really seen one in person, or maybe I have, but it's been a long time since, and I guess it's really pretty to see many hot air balloons in the air, as much as it's dangerous to use them. Next, I went to do some galaxy themes by drawing in some planets here and there. Not sure why I did so, because they don't really have a primary color each, but I guess it's just to give myself some kind of aesthetic, I guess, or some doodling inspiration, since I did draw a lot of stars around here and there. Then I wrote a quote that says, "If it's both terrifying and exciting, then you should definitely pursue it." So yeah, this is my completed January monthly bullet journal. I really hope you guys like it, and yeah, thank you so much for watching this with me. I really hope you guys have a great new year, and if you have any themes you want to see, do comment down below.